What's going on, my YouTube family, and what's happening with my YouTube savages? I hope each and every single one of you guys have been having an absolutely freaking baked, blessed, beautiful, totally magnificent, and absolutely freaking immaculate weekend so far. It has been absolutely gorgeous outside the last week and a half out here in Ohio, guys. Canton, Ohio specifically. Unfortunately, I do believe that tomorrow it's actually going to be going back down when it comes to the temperature. It's going to start getting cold again, but the fact that the weather's been breaking as often as it has the last week and a half to 2 weeks can only mean one thing, savages. Spring is finally upon us, which means summer is not too far out of reach. And why not celebrate with some of my personal favorite stuff out of the Ohio program? You guys already know what I'm about to say, man. Klutch cannabis. I have an array of different flowers sitting here in front of me, and I never actually got around to reviewing this puppy here, which is the new live rosin disposables from Klutch Cannabis, the second model. I have a lot of thoughts on this puppy, and this is what we're actually going to start with first, guys. So before we get any further in tonight's video, quick disclaimer for the YouTube community guidelines. Nobody featured in this video or any of my videos is under the age of 21 and or holds their Ohio licensed medical marijuana card through the state of Ohio. There are no minors featured in any of my videos, guys. Not now, not literally ever. And all the content that I do upload to the channel for you savages is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now that we got that beat up and busted right on out the way, drop it in the comments what you savages are about to be grinding down, twisting up, and lighting up during the course of tonight's video. I literally never get sick of singing that, and I'm not sure what we're going to be rolling up yet, savages, but everything that I have sitting here is pretty freaking good looking, so we're going to be smoking on nothing but the finest, most divinest, the best of the best. We ain't even started hitting no tree yet, savages. We're already feeling silly, so it should be a pretty chill, relaxed, and fun little video for you savages. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please hit it with a big fat savage thumbs up. That really does help the channel overall as a whole more than you guys could possibly imagine, man, especially when it comes to the algorithm here on YouTube. Almost anything weed related gets age restricted almost immediately, guys. So the more likes we get on the videos, the more people who are not watching the channel currently are actually going to be able to see the content. It's just a good thing overall. But at the same time, if any of you savages don't like the video for any reason, hit it with a big fat savage thumbs down and drop it down in the comments why you guys disliked it and what you would like to see me do better in the next video, guys. Alright, savages, so I know that the last few weeks reviews out of the dispensary have been kind of slow on the channel, and we already know why. I made a whole entire video talking about why I was going to be slowing down on reviews, and unfortunately, guys, I've made a couple of dispensary trips in the last week or so, bought edibles, I've even got some cards and flour from a couple different brands, and to be honest, even from Klutch Cannabis, guys, unfortunately, I'm kind of still seeing a lot of the same stuff. I'm going to be getting into that more here in just a couple of minutes, but first, this is what we picked up yesterday, guys. If you were watching the channel yesterday, all the shorts I was uploading, you probably already know what I picked up. But we got 3 jars of flour, and I actually got all 3 of these for around $100 and a little bit of tax added onto that. And that was without my medical card, guys. So they had a deal going on yesterday that if you bought 3 Klutch cannabis items, Klutch or Kaiva, so you could get the edibles too, you get 30% off the entire purchase. 1 item was 10%, 2 items was 20%. So I just went ahead and got 3 items, man. It's been a while since I've got any of Klutch's actual flour. I did a lot of the cookies collaboration flour within the last month or so. I loved pretty much all of it. The cereal milk was a little bit of a disappointment, but that stuff was still pretty decent overall. But it's been a while since I've had any of these black and gold jar savages, and I went ahead and picked up a lot of my personal favorites. We've got the Jealousy. You guys already know how I feel about that one, man. One of my all-time personal favorite strains from Klutch Cannabis, even though I still to this day do not believe that it smokes anywhere near as good as it did the first couple times that I ever tried it. That stuff was goated, but for what it is, still some really, really fire stuff. If you guys haven't had the Jealousy yet, put it on your bucket list when it comes to Klutch. Then, right behind that, I haven't had this one in a very long time, savages. This is going to be the Big Head, one of the most underrated strains from Klutch's actual lineup of flour, in my personal opinion. Every single time I've had it, I have loved it, guys, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I haven't picked it up more, because I really do like it a lot. It's probably in my top 5 as of right now when it comes to Klutch Cannabis. They have so many strains on the menu at this point, way more strains than when I first got into the program. It was a lot more limited at that point in time, but back then, this was one of the ones that was on that original menu when I first started shopping Klutch, and to this day, guys, just an absolute classic and an absolute banger. And last but not least, Savages, we have this puppy right here, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I haven't had this one in a long time either. I think since last summer when I actually did the full-length video review on the stuff, but this is going to be the Alien Cookie, guys, the Mac 1 Miracle Alien Cookie from Klutch Cannabis. This stuff is absolutely no freaking joke. I smoked a doobie of this yesterday, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, guys. It literally put me down for a nap, a weed nap, and I'm talking like, it had me feeling like I took like really good dabs, like really good quality, like rosin or something. I was getting the sweats, I was getting hot, I literally felt like I didn't want to move, and I just went straight down for a nap. Flower having me feeling that way is kind of crazy, guys. That is Klutch's Mac freaking 1. Before we even bust down any flower in tonight's video, guys, while we're at it, I think it's a perfect time to go ahead and cover this puppy on the channel for you guys. I've had it for about a week. I've been puffing on it throughout the week. There's things that I like about it, but there's quite a few things that I actually dislike about it, so I really want to get my thoughts on this out. Might as well just get this busted out of the way first. Listen, guys, this is technically Klutch Cannabis's second model of their live rosin disposable vape pens, or whatever you guys might call them, vapes, however you want to say it. The first one that I had was a white design, and it actually had Klutch's logo on the battery itself, like the name of the company and things of that nature. As you guys see on this new second model, there is nothing on it. There is no logo, no lettering, no writing, no design. It's literally just a black battery with one of these glass wickless dome tips. It really looks aesthetically pleasing. I'm not going to fib you guys one bit, but whereas this might look more aesthetically pleasing than the first one, I actually believe the first one functioned better. Now let me get into why. Before we even start hitting this thing, guys, let me go ahead and bust out the product facts real quick. I picked up the Pacific Cool, which is a new strain that they just came out in 2024, sativa dominant. Tried it one time. From what I remember, that stuff was really good smoking flower. So this is going to be the live rosin disposable version of that. Product facts here, guys. We have the Pacific Cool live hash rosin oil for vaporization, and it is a solventless extraction. Absolutely love seeing that. What I don't really like seeing, though, is the fact that this was almost $70 with the tax and everything, and the net weight is literally a half a gram, not even a full gram. And for the price of this stuff, for the fact that I really don't even feel like it functions that great, which is a shame because the terp off this thing is actually really freaking good in my opinion. Let's just get into this so I can show you guys in the flesh how it actually functions. We have cannabinoids per package here. Total THC 373.5 mg. Delta 9 is 317 mg flat. The Delta 9 THCA here, guys, is 64.5 mg. 0 Delta 8 and 0 THCV per usual on a lot of the stuff that I cover out of the dispensary, guys. So total CBD here as well, big fat 0. There is no CBD. And in terms of any other cannabinoids, we actually do have some. We have CBG coming in at 5.05 mg, and then last but not least, Savages, we have CBC coming in at 1.84 mg. So there is a little bit of diversity when it comes to the different cannabinoids in this vape. Now, package date on this stuff, pretty new, which I was actually wondering, since I haven't really seen them drop any new batches of the Pacific Cool flower, unless I'm totally tripping and I just haven't seen it. If they do have some fresh cuts of that stuff, I would love to smoke on it again. Same thing for the Perp 43. Out of all the new ones that they came out with last year, the Perp 43 is one that's really stuck in my memory. That stuff I remember burned absolutely stupid, and I remember thinking it was some of the stickiest flower that I've seen in a really long time, even to this day. Guys, now for my personal favorite part of the product facts on any product in the program, the terp profile. In milligrams, we have the leading terp here, not shabby, limonene, coming in at 17 mg of total terp, linalool 7.30, myrcene 4.35, apinene coming in at 2.78, and then last but not least, guys, we have fenchol coming in at 2.01. Let's rack them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total dominating terps in this trying to say cart, but it's not a cart. It's actually a disposable, and I'm not used to saying that because I literally never pick up disposables for one main reason. In my experience, guys, a lot of disposable pans always end up clogging up on you about halfway through, and honestly, even though this is only a half a G in here of live rosin solventless oil, I'm actually having the same problem with this one too, which is something that was supposed to be kind of avoided with this new design. Let me get into that more here in a second. Savages, I wanted to double check before I mentioned anything, but I was correct. So they actually do have a full length breakdown of the product itself on the website. So I'm actually going to go ahead and read off what Klutch Cannabis has to say themselves about this product. First off, I guess since I did forget, the cross on Pacific Cool, by the way, guys, is Orange 43 X OZK. I forgot that Orange 43 was actually one of the strains that's crossed in that stuff, which is kind of interesting because you don't pick up too much on the 043 compared to the purple 43, which is like really Orange 43 forward in my opinion, where the ice cream cake is more coming in on the exhale, the back end. All right, what do we got here, Savages? It's actually a pretty brief description. So what do they got to say? We got Klutch live rosin disposables are back and they're better than ever. I'll be the judge of that. Introducing the all-new O2 vapes featuring a cotton-free bucket atomizer for cleaner, smoother vape with consistent flavor, plus it eliminates condensation buildup. New design, first of its kind in Ohio. Now, pre-purchasing this thing, guys, just reading that on my own time, I thought that sounded really freaking cool. What do they call this? A cotton-free bucket atomizer. And I think that they actually started implementing this design in other legal states just a little bit sooner than Klutch did. If I'm not mistaken, drop it down in the comments if I am wrong on that. But I'm pretty sure I've seen these in other states too, really recently, for the live rosin disposable. And this right here, guys, first off, just right away, I think it would look a lot better if somewhere on here they had their actual logo, Klutch Cannabis, somewhere. It's already a black battery, so having their gold logo with the lettering, I just think that would be a no-brainer. It would look way better, and you would at least know just from looking at the product what company this is actually coming from. The oil itself, as you guys can see right here, in my opinion, that stuff looks really very good quality oil, really light in color, almost looks blonde in color, to be totally honest with you. Now, before I even start pulling on this thing and show you, Savages, how it actually functions, just off the top of my head, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts for the score I'm going to give this overall, if I even give this a definitive score, really, because it is just a disposable vape as opposed to breaking down different strains of flower and stuff like that. But off the top of my head, guys, if this thing functioned right, I would actually like it a good deal, because I do think that the oil inside is really good quality. But as it stands, this thing doesn't hit very good. You can literally chug on this thing for a full like 10 seconds and you're still getting like a subpar amount of vapor production. That's just my humble opinion. And when I'm ripping on a vape, I want to get a hit. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't feel right not getting a mouthful of vapor or an actual authentic hit. Now, I've rambled enough about this thing for a few minutes, guys. Let me go ahead and just take a couple of hits in front of you guys so you can see what I'm actually trying to say. Cheers for the Pacific Cool Klutch Cannabis Live Rosin Disposable Cotton-Free Bucket Atomizer. First of its kind in Ohio, which they're probably right about that. But like I said, I think they're actually making these in other states as of right now too. All right, guys, let's just see how it goes. Pretty much. Cheers. So I got it heated up a little bit now. I'm going to take a proper hit, and it's going to take a little bit longer than normal hitting a regular vape. Let's see how many seconds I got to hit this thing to get an actual cloud. Cheers. Hit number 2. Even though this thing is really heated up at this point, I mean, I can even feel it, guys. I'm still getting like really subpar vapor production. Let's go in on the third and probably final hit. Cheers. Man, it's such a shame, Savages, because the flavor that comes off of this thing is really, really good. Super terpy. It leaves flavor literally coated on the inside of your mouth. And from what I remember the Pacific Cool tasting like, this is pretty freaking identical to the flower itself. Solventless live rosin oil inside of this thing. You can tell that it's pretty clean oil just by the way that it looks. Really, really light in color. The taste is super good, but if I could just get an actual hit off the thing, I'm sure it would taste even better, like 5 times better. I'm just making up numbers at this point. But you guys get what I'm saying. It just doesn't function that well, guys. And I hate to have to say that because I really wanted to like this product. The first pen that I had, guys, the live rosin that they first came out with, disposable, I thought was really freaking good. I thought it tasted really good. I thought it hit pretty good. And I don't know, I mean, it kind of gave me clog issues just like this one is doing, but it's not sacrificing in vapor production or the terp profile and flavor. So it's just like, to me, I actually feel like overall, this one is just a minor step down from the one that they already came out with. And if I'm not mistaken, just looking at their website a second ago, I'm pretty sure they're using that first model battery for their new live resin disposables, which they didn't have on the menu at the time that they were selling the live rosin. I have to try one of those at this point too still, even though live resin has never really been my bag. If I'm gonna go like wax, I really like batters and rosins. I don't tend to like consistencies that are like real soupy and runny just because of the dabbing apparatuses that I actually have on deck, which mainly consist of nectar collectors, which in my opinion, guys, batters and rosins, more like structurally sound consistencies of wax, do just way better with that tool than something like diamonds and sauce or live resin. But yeah, guys, this overall, as it stands, if it functioned, it would probably be getting in the 9 ranges because the oil inside is really, really good, but it doesn't function, and if I can't get a good hit out of this thing. So before I put this thing away, let me try and give you guys a blink off this thing. Cheers. I got an okay hit there, but I had to get this thing so freaking hot, the oil actually didn't taste as good as the first couple hits when I was just taking like 5 to 6 second pulls. It does tell you on the packaging itself. Where does it say here? I know it does. Where we at? Where does it say? I just seen this the other day, Savages. Oh, here we go. Dosing. It's right under the product ID. 1 8-second draw equals 10 milligrams of oil. A 10-second draw. So I'm going to count it in my head. Let's see how much vapor we actually get off a 10-second draw. And mind you, this thing is properly heated up. I mean, I can feel it to the touch. So it shouldn't give no issues when it comes to a hit drawing on this thing for 10 seconds. Let's get it, guys. Cheers. It's almost like it hit worse there, and I hit it for longer amounts of time. See what I'm saying, Savages? It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Not to me personally, and unfortunately, I think they need to take this thing back to the drawing board. The oil inside is really, really good itself. They need a better delivery system for this thing. So overall, guys, I don't even really know if I want to score it because I don't feel like it functions the way that it's supposed to. But as it stands, I'm going to be giving this thing overall a 7.4 out of 10. I mean, I really don't want to score it, guys, because I don't want to give it a negative score because the stuff that you're actually hitting is good. The stuff itself is good. It's just the vape battery overall, like the inside of my mouth still is loaded with that terp from the Pacific Cool, and it tastes really good. In my opinion, it tastes like a tropical orange 43. It's not as like citrusy or orange zesty as the 043, which I really like. Finally, there's a cross for the Orange 43 that literally doesn't just taste like Orange 43, and I really like that. Just take it back to the drawing board, guys. As it stands, if you guys are in the market for a pen and you want to shop Klutch, I think you're just better off, way better off actually at this point, to just go ahead and buy 2 of the full spectrum luster pods or carts, because you're going to be getting in total 2 full grams of still high quality cannabis oil that still tastes 1-to-1 with whatever strain you guys are going to be picking up. Whatever strain you like, get that strain in the luster pod. It tastes identical. The effects are pretty similar too. The terp is really similar and just everything about it, but it's half the price of this, and you're literally like tripling the amount of oil that you're going to be taking home. No brainer. So unfortunately, guys, for the Pacific Cool Live Rosin Disposable from Klutch Cannabis, I would definitely pass up on it for now, especially for the amount of money that you're going to be paying for it. Let's move on to some of my personal favorite stuff from Klutch Cannabis, though, and that's going to be the flower savages. It feels like forever since I've actually sat down in front of the camera and just chopped it up with you guys. So if I'm a little bit ramblish tonight, a little bit talkative, please do not mind me. We do have quite a bit of stuff in front of me, so what am I going to go with tonight? Well, last night, I kind of went ahead and dipped into the Mac 1 a little bit, just because it's been so long since I've had it, guys. I was sitting there chopping it up on Batman Arkham City, and I just wanted to see what the Mac 1 was going to be doing to your boy after all this time away. I literally had to take a nap after I finished smoking that joint. So I think we're not going to do the Mac 1 tonight. It's going to be between these two right here. The Big Head and the Jealousy. I haven't had either one of them in a very long time, and both of them are really high up there on my list off Klutch Cannabis's menu of my personal favorite strains of flower. When it comes to the flower, Klutch just has it on lock. I'm going to be real. The one complaint I have from all 3 of these strains, and you guys probably already know what I'm about to say, the package date on these jars right now is just not ideal. It's not really old. They're all about 5 to 6 months past the package date, really more around 5 months, which is not terrible, especially for Klutch Cannabis. And just from experience, I already knew before I cracked any of these jars that even though they were a little bit past the date on the package date, they were probably still going to end up coming out of the jar pretty good quality. I've had old Klutch weed in the past, and it actually still came out of the jar fresh, sticky, terpy, the whole 9 yards. Shocked the living crap out of me, but that's happened a couple of times, so I was pretty confident going into this, and I was actually right. All 3 of these jars are still retaining a lot of the strain's integrity, quality, bud structure, terp coming out, all that good stuff. They are suffering a little bit, so the Mac 1 smoke crazy, not nearly as terpy as I remember it being. Even though Mac 1's not the terpiest flower on their menu to begin with, I could definitely tell that it was just missing a little something. You guys know what I'm saying? So this stuff was packaged 11/4/2024. That's more around like 4.5 to 5 months past the package date. Not crazy. And this is actually the freshest flower out of all 3 jars that I picked up yesterday. Let's go on down to the Jealousy, packaged 10/31/2024. So that's probably second freshest. And then last but not least, guys, which is crazy, I think the Big Head's actually the oldest. It is. Just looking now, it's 10/4/2024. But taking the nugs out of the jar, I think these actually retain their freshness a little bit more than the other 2, the Jealousy and the Mac 1. So you know what? I actually think I'm going to be going with this one tonight, and I'm kind of excited about that. I wasn't sure what I was going to be rolling up, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, let me go ahead and roll up some of this Big Head. And since I already got my phone out, why not pull up the description that they have on the website for the Big Head? Alright, savages, here we go. The Big Head, it's got its literal own page on the website, just like every single strain that they offer on the menu. I'll tell you what, over the course of the last couple of years, they have really stepped their game up when it comes to the website for the company itself, and just the presentation at their actual dispensary. Out of all the dispensaries here in Canton, Ohio, local to me, there is 4 in total, I do believe. Somebody told me once that there's 5, but I don't think there is. There's Zen Leaf, then we have Klutch Cannabis, then we have the Botanist, and then we have the Ohio Cannabis Company. And the Zen Leaf and the Ohio Cannabis Company are probably the ones that I really barely ever go to. I would like to make it out to Zen Leaf a little more often though, because every time I look at their menu, guys, it just seems like they have a bigger variety of stuff. And what I mean by a bigger variety, like more brands to choose from and just more products for each brand in general. Something I've really been noticing lately when it comes to the Botanist and somewhat Klutch Cannabis, maybe not so much, but just not having as much variety as I'm used to. So when it comes to, like, I might want to go and shop for Standard Wellness, they have like 2 to 3 strains, and it's the same ones that they've had for the last couple months, so you automatically know that it's probably not going to be fresh stuff. I use Standard Wellness just as an example, by the way, Savages, but you know what I'm saying. Sheesh, guys, I already know you ain't gotta tell me. Savage is really rambling in tonight's video. I miss you guys, what can I say, man? But here we go, man. We've got the Big Head from Klutch Cannabis, and this is going to be a cross of Heat Locker, which is a sativa that they offer, and I don't even think I've actually ever got around to doing the video review on that one. I think I literally just forgot about it, because at one point in time, I remember really wanting to do it. I need to circle back around and pick some of that stuff up. I actually think we're going to get some gummies tomorrow morning from Klutch Cannabis. If I end up doing that, I think the Heat Locker is finally going to get its due diligence, and that is going to be crossed with Sherbhead, another one of my personal all-time favorite strains from Klutch. And then we've got Indica Sativa Ratio. I like that they actually include that on some of these strains. Indica dominant, 70% indica to 30% sativa. I really like that they added that. Now, let's get to the actual brass tacks here, Savages. The full-length description of the strain itself from Klutch Cannabis. Here we go, guys. Bred by Tahoe Nugs and OG Loudest. Big Head is an extraordinary cross of our Heat Locker and Sherbhead cuts with Ice Cream Cake, Mac 1, Sherbhead, Chemdog, and Fire OG in the background. That was a mouthful. That's like 5 different strains, guys, and if you're wondering, those are all the strains that is actually crossed in Sherbhead. So the fact that Sherbhead's crossed in this pretty much means that all those strains are also crossed in this. Pretty much. You guys know what I'm trying to say. That's a lot, man. What do we got? Ice Cream Cake, Mac 1. Just those two alone, that's a crazy cross. Sherbhead, Chemdog, and Fire OG in the background. They actually added Sherbhead in all those descriptions of all those strains too. So Ice Cream Cake, Mac 1, Chemdog, and Fire OG, those 4 strains is what's crossed in Sherbhead, and then Sherbhead itself is crossed in this. That's a freaking mouthful. Already almost 27 minutes into the video, Savages. Grab your freaking popcorn, grab your tippy top shelf, your edibles, your concentrates, wax, pens, anything you guys might need. Savage is putting on a little bit of an episode for you guys tonight. So, where were we? Big Head's large buds are comprised of almost all calyxes and no leaves. Savage likes to see that, with a vast coating of trichomes to round out its appearance. The flavor on this one is special and one of the most complex in our garden. Not only does the strain deliver strong, sweet, fruity flavors, it also has a ton of chem and gas to it. Flavor notes, sweet, fruity, and gas. And guys, I can actually personally attest to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and crack that jar and give my in-the-flesh thoughts on what I think this stuff smells like. But I think they actually hit that right on the head with a hammer. It is really, really like some gassy, freaking runcy, gassy, fruity type of aroma all mixed into one. Runcy is a really good word to describe the way it smells almost immediately out of the jar, with that almost like menthol slash gassiness. And normally I don't like anything that smells or tastes anything like menthol, but in this stuff here, guys, the Big Head, it's so minute, it doesn't overtake anything. It doesn't overtake the main star of the show, which in my opinion is almost like this like slightly runcy slash grapey type of gassy flavor. Really, it's like a gassy type of candy-ish runts, guys, which doesn't that just sound appealing for an indica from Klutch? Let's get into this jar, guys. I've rambled enough. We're at 30 freaking minutes. Sheesh! So, guys, recording this a little bit later than I was anticipating. The Savage has really been pretty freaking busy and stacked on the schedule as of late, between working my regular hours at the job, some upcoming, Savages. First off, I must be a little bit rusty, man, because it just feels like I haven't actually sat down and recorded anything for the channel in just way too long. I was used to uploading every night, every other night, and going to this little break that I've taken the last couple weeks, guys. I just feel totally thrown out of routine. I am very much excited to be back full force for you savages. We are getting ready to move here in a couple of days, which is probably the biggest reason, honestly, I haven't been uploading too much the last like 2 to 3 weeks, between looking for a new vehicle, which, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back for that alone, because saving up the money to buy my very first car took a lot of different like changes that I had to make to myself personally, because I've never been good at saving money. It's been really a bittersweet moment the last couple of weeks, and then getting the keys for the new apartment. Wait till you guys see that. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. New backdrop for the videos, cannot wait, and I cannot wait to start implementing this new camera into the videos as well. You guys just wait. Big things coming for the Savage Army. Holy crap, my mouth is dry, savages. Even though this thing didn't really hit all that great, kind of gave me cotton mouth, I'm not gonna lie. Flavor on that thing is fire, man. It really is a shame. Doubling back to that vape over there, guys, the disposable, I would not recommend spending your money on that. But real quick, little mini review for one of the new flavors of Red Bull. Guys, if I've accumulated any new addictions since I first went to rehab like 4.5 to 5 years ago, I think it's actually almost been 5 years ago already, I think I've acquired a little bit of a Red Bull addiction. I've already kind of had a problem with caffeine for quite some time. I've always been a heavy coffee drinker, but man, never ever tried a Red Bull ever in my life until like late tail end of last year, 2024, and I'm hooked, guys. I don't even know what to say. I've actually told myself I was going to quit buying these a couple of times, and then boom, both times they come out with new flavors. So the purple one, not really a fan of, guys. The grapefruit, it is really bitter, and I don't like grapefruit anyway in real life, but I've had grapefruit flavored things in the past that I did like. Nah. The purple Red Bull sucks. I definitely do not recommend getting that one. But this one right here, as long as you're cool with having a pink colored drink, I don't really care. It is what it is. Triple berry. Oh, trippin', savages. It's not triple berry, it's wild berries. This is a really good flavor. And just a quick little pro tip hack for all my savages who do drink Red Bull: keep it in the freezer for like 30 minutes before you actually end up cracking it open. Way better, so much more refreshing. It almost turns into like half a little Red Bull slushy. So good, guys. Cheers. One of the best new flavors they've come out with since I've started drinking these things. I'm not sure if it's overtaking the Juneberry flavor for me, but this is really good. I've been kind of cracking and knocking these back the last few days. Cheers, savages. Time for the savage description. I haven't had Big Head since I did their video review on it sometime during the course of last summer, guys. I still remember the day. Gas. This stuff is fire. One of my favorite strains in their lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how this stuff smokes. Drop it down in the comments what you guys are about to be twisting up and what you're about to be roasting on during the course of tonight's video. And drop it down in the comments what you guys would like to see me do a review on next. This is going to be the Big Head from Klutch Cannabis. Alright, savages, per usual, the net weight is 2.83 grams. I cannot wait until we finally see 3.5 on the 8s out here in Ohio. That's just going to be a day to remember, man. You might as well holiday that day. The day Ohio got its crap together. Total THC on this stuff, guys, is 27.7% indica dominant. Delta 9 THCA overall here is 30.2%, approaching 31%. Decent when it comes to the total THC, even though you already know, guys, we're not really here for that. We're here for that terpene profile. And what do we got? Delta 9 by itself is 1.22. The Delta 8 and THCV per usual, 0. Total CBD, oh, they actually have some, guys. I was about to say nada. 0.09% when it comes to the total CBD. CBDA is 0.10%, and this stuff was packaged 10/4/2024, so that is like... am I tripping? Is that almost 6 months ago, guys? Let me count this up real quick. Yeah, guys, I don't think I was really tripping. I think all in all, that is pretty much like 6 months past the package date, which you guys already know what I'm going to say. Definitely not ideal, but I'm not going to complain too much about it this time because I did get all 3 of these jars for a pretty decent price, especially when you talk about Klutch Cannabis's flower, $50 plus tax, and if you're shopping recreationally like I have been the last like month or so, yeesh. But I will say this, overall, I think I still have the receipt, but I actually remember off the top of my head, they knocked $15 off each jar, so I saved almost $50 on the entire purchase yesterday. Not too shabby whatsoever. I am not going to complain about that one bit. I actually am a little bit salty at myself because I wanted to actually go one more time before they ended the sale, but it was just for yesterday. I'm not sure if it was more than one day, but I caught them on the last day. I was wanting to go back and pick up some more of that flour, guys, because I think they just got a new batch of Perp 43 in, and I've really been wanting to try that one again, as well as some others. I just see they got some lemon cherry gelato in too, and I don't think they've had that for the last like month or so, so that stuff's got to be fresh. Now I'm just trying to see what's fresh at the dispensary. It's a problem, Savages, and I really hope that it goes away. A big part of me, though, is kind of worried and concerned that it's not going to fully go away, because if you guys have shopped in any of the other legal markets or legal states, so to speak, like Michigan, California, Colorado, and you kind of do some research and due diligence, you'll see that some of these legal states that have been doing it for a while kind of typically tend to have some of the same issue that we're starting to have out here, which is bud just sitting on the shelf for entirely too long and it just losing its quality. And when bud sits, guys, it doesn't really take long for it to start decreasing in quality, at least in my opinion. Now, I've put this to the test before and really seen how long I can hold on to something and still end up smoking almost just as good as when I first got it. I've had flour for like 2 months at one point in time, and it still ended up smoking pretty close to when I got the bag, but that was like OCD mode, trying to really make sure that it stayed fresh. I'm talking like double, triple Ziploc certain stuff and putting it in a jar, maybe a little moisture pack in there at the same time, like really trying. I assure you, at the dispensary, guys, they're not really doing that stuff most of the time. This stuff is sitting on the shelf or wherever they're storing it without humidifier packs, without moisture packs, which honestly, when I see a moisture pack, when I crack a jar on some flour, guys, I immediately almost don't want to smoke it, because if you feel like you need a moisture pack when you're packaging the stuff, that kind of tells me where your mind's at on the product itself, just right out the gate anyway. Klutch Cannabis has never done that. And normally, I don't have to worry about their stuff being dry in the first place. Thank goodness this stuff is not dry. I've kind of already checked these nuggets out on all 3 of these jars just to be safe yesterday when I got home with the stuff. But where are we at when it comes to the terpene profile, guys? I am just in rambling savage mode tonight. Let's finally get this thing twisted up and start hitting some bud. Alright, guys, terps in milligrams. We have limonene coming in at 13.4, linalool at 5.23, caraflene at 4.87, myrcene at 1.99, B-pinene at 1.87, humulene at 1.6, and then last but not savage least, we have farnesene at 1.51. Let's rack them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total terps in this strain of flour. See, they're not doing the clean dozen anymore, guys, and if you guys have been pretty much rocking with me for a while, at least watching over the course of last summer, every single thing that I picked up from Klutch Cannabis had between 11 and 12 different total terps, especially for the flour, and I'm pretty much talking about the flour. I don't think that applied to the concentrates or the vapes. Actually, the luster pods, yes it did, I remember now, but it was mostly the flour. And I'm noticing that this year, in 2025, it's been around like 7 to 8 different terps instead of the 11 to 12, but nevertheless, it's still been consistent amongst everything that I've tried so far, even when it comes to the cookies collaboration stuff, which me personally, I still consider Klutch Cannabis' stuff because they're the ones that grow it. Right, guys, enough rambling, now let's get to the exciting stuff here, and this really is one of my favorite strains of all time when it comes to Klutch Cannabis. This is one of the first strains that I ever tried from them. I think I tried this right after I tried the ice cream cake. That was the very first thing that I ever tried from Klutch Cannabis, and I would say that's actually a pretty good thing to start with, guys. The ice cream cake or the orange 43, just depends on what your poison is. I think I lean more into enjoying indicas just overall, but sometimes I do like to have a little bit of sativa on me when I'm feeling a little bit froggy and wanting to roast kind of early in the morning, which I don't really do anymore like I used to. I used to just blow all day long. It's pretty much evening time nowadays on average, I would say, Savages. So let's see what this big head is hitting on, even though it's kind of past the package date a little bit. Let's see what we got here, Klutch. Seal cracked. Oh my goodness. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, it pretty much smells just as good as I remember the Big Head smelling, to be honest, even though it's kind of, well, not kind of, it's definitely older than I would typically prefer. I would really prefer everything that I pick up from the dispensary to be within like 2 to 3 months past the package date, and 3 months most of the time for me is actually kind of pushing it. So we're talking double that here. I think this is actually the oldest thing that I picked up yesterday by about a month. Oh man, but that smells really freaking good. Oh, it's runcy right as soon as you open the jar. In my opinion, it's got that like trademark candy type of aroma that you're going to be finding on a lot of different stuff nowadays. Oh my goodness, but at the same time, you're getting almost this like menthol-y type of gassiness coming in on the back end. And all melded together. I'm also getting some notes of fruit coming in over top. Man, the aroma, just all that mixed up together, this stuff smells so freaking good. It smells like a gassy runts. It smells candy-ish. It has that candy grams type of aroma from the stuff that I picked up in Michigan from the House of Dank. And I thought that stuff was really good. Out of all the candy strains that I've tried, that one probably had the best flavor. And it's really reminding me of this stuff right here, the Big Head from Klutch Cannabis. Let's go ahead and pull out some of these buds for you savages real quick. I'll tell you guys what, even though these are kind of small to medium-sized buds, the 10th overall, this is looking more like a 3.5 than most of the 10s that I typically pick up out of the Ohio shops, guys. But let's see what this stuff is looking like. If you guys want to see a better up close and personal shot of the flower itself, I just uploaded 60-second shorts for each one of these strains last night. The Jealousy, the Mac 1, and this stuff right here, guys, the Big Head. This stuff looked great on camera. Looks great right now, guys, even though I don't have the best lighting going on in here at the moment. You guys can see there, very uniform looking buds. Very uniform. It's got some really nice dark purple to it. Really keefed out and triked out as well. And I just love this like slightly menthol-y, gassy type of candy nose, guys. It's a little bit of a nuance on the candy weed that's pretty much abundant in the market right now. Whereas a lot of it, in my opinion, kind of smells and tastes very, very similar. This one has a little bit of its own twist, and I have always liked the Big Head. Oh my goodness. I think I actually tried this before I ever tried the Runts. And I definitely like this one better, even though Klutch's Runts, I'm not the biggest Runts guy. Their baseline Runts, mwah, Chef's freaking Savage Kiss, absolutely fire. A lot better than the Rose Gold Runts. That's one of the only strains from Klutch that I really don't like all that much, even though I haven't had it for a very long time, probably longer than I've had this for the last time. But the Rose Gold Runts has just never really been my bag, but I still have to cover it eventually because I don't actually have a review for that one up yet. One of the only things that I don't, guys. Am I right? Go ahead and see what I'm going to be using to show you guys the stickiness test here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this bud apart right here. One of the more like medium-sized nuggets out of this jar. Cheers for some stuff that's actually 6 months past the package date. Is it actually still going to stick together? This is going to be interesting. Cheers. I'm smiling and I have to kind of giggle because I am shocked that it stuck together that way. Pretty effortless, guys. This nugget actually broke in 3 places. So to show that it's not a fluke, let me go ahead and put that one back. Here's another one of the like medium-sized nugs out of the 10th. We'll crack this right down the middle. And I would say the structure on this stuff, guys, is more dense feeling in my opinion. But it's not like totally dense. There's almost a little bit of fluffiness in there as well. Boom. Some of it's still stuck to my finger. Effortless, guys. This is sticking together almost like it literally just got packaged. That's one of the things about Klutch Cannabis I have always said, and I will probably always say unless they stop doing it. But every time that I've got stuff from them that was still considered like old bud on my grading scale, because I'm pretty petty when it comes to stuff like that, savages, it's still come out of the jar. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Really still fresh feeling on the quality. The terp is not really compromised. I mean, I still have to roll it up and smoke it, but the aroma here, man, it smells like Big Head. I mean, I don't know what else to say, Savages. So, let me go ahead and grind up some of this fine and divine looking flour, twist it up, and I will meet you guys out there to the spot for a nice little Savage session on this fine and divine Sunday night. Drop it down in the comments what you're about to be twisting up, and let's get it started. What, 45 minutes later? I know I'm rambling a little bit in the during the course of tonight's video, guys, but I don't know what to say, Savages. I missed you guys. So before I even grind this stuff down, I will say this, even though it did still ace that stickiness test, which is crazy for being 6 months past the package date, since I've personally smoked so much of their stuff over the course of the last like 3 years, I can tell just like eyeballing it up close and personal that this isn't packaged really recently. I can tell that it's kind of past the package date a little bit. I'm probably not going to sit here and guess that it would be 6 months past, but maybe 3-4 months. I could probably guess that. There's just something to it that is slightly missing, but I can't quite put my finger on what. For one thing, even though it still smells amazing, I think normally the terp coming out of the jar would be just a little bit more pronounced. Just very minor petty differences, but I would say overall, I have to commend Klutch Cannabis for this, because most of the time, if you get anything out of the dispensary that's 6 months past the date, you might as well just give that to somebody else or throw it away, because it's probably going to be doing this in your fingers, guys, just straight sanding away. Alright, Savages, I would say overall, the Klutch Cannabis Big Head still rolled up like an absolute freaking Savage dream, even though it's pretty far past the package date. Let's go ahead and just see, man. Is the Big Head as good as the Savage remembers? Might not be the most fair test, but from Klutch Cannabis, man, it's almost like everything they touch turns to gold. Even though this isn't super fresh, it's still pretty fresh. It's actually fresher than some of the stuff from other brands that I've had recently, even like 2 months past the package date. So I guess for what that is, take it for what you guys will. But that's enough about the package date. Let's just see how this stuff is ripping. Cheers. Drop it down in the comments where you guys are lighting up. Sorry for the wait. By the way, guys, we're 45 minutes in, and I am just now starting to light up some flour. Silly me, man. I missed you, Savages, though, guys, and I do apologize for the lack of content during the course of the last, like, 3 weeks. Do not worry, Savages. My regular upload schedule is returning very, very soon. I'm just pretty much waiting on us to finally get all of our stuff moved into the new place, and I am actually about to go and purchase my very first car that I've ever bought with cash that I've saved up myself, and I'm really excited to do that, guys, and I can't wait to show you guys what car I end up getting. Kind of thinking about a Honda for real. I just need something that's reliable, that's not hard to find parts for, that doesn't break my bank putting gas in the tank, and something that's reliable, that's not going to break down every couple of months. Really all that I'm looking for. But back to the topic at hand, because that tastes good already. Is the Big Head as good as the Savage remembers? Well, the Savage is going to show you guys this right now. I literally just started tapping that, barely kissed this doobie, and we are already literally leaking an oil ring around the tip of the J. That's usually a pretty good sign, Savages. That's all I'm going to say about that. Uh-oh. I'm taking a seat for this one, guys. Sheesh. Also, Savages, it's been a few days since I've talked in front of the camera, so if I seem a little bit rusty, just please do not mind me, because I feel a little bit rusty, but it's okay. We're right back at it. And this tastes really good, guys, already, literally right away. I'm not going to speak on it too much yet. I really want to let this, like, simmer in and settle in, because it is 6 months past the date. So, for it to still taste good, burn good, smell good, look good, and it's still sticky, Klutch Cannabis, you bastards. Only company that I would sit here and say that 6-month-old weed is smoking good. What's this burn looking like already, guys? I am seeing pretty white ash. That ring is basically all the way around the tip of the J, 360 degrees already. But at the end of the day, there is no doubt in my mind that this would be burning a lot better or smoking a lot better and cleaner just overall. That's not to say that it's not burning clean, because the ash does look white. But you guys know what I'm saying. Just when it comes to that inhale, the smoothness of it, and the terp overall, it would obviously be better. So the fact that it's still smoking like it is right now is kind of shocking, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Klutch Cannabis did not fall off. Most certainly, Savages. I know a lot of people have been saying that lately. In my opinion, they haven't fell off, not even close. It's just the state of the program as a whole right now, guys. The fact that everything is so expensive. The fact that the economy is literally crashing all around us right now as we speak, literally. So for people to afford to just go and buy really expensive weed right now, which, let's be real, guys, at the end of the day is not a priority over food, over gas, over bills in your home, things like that. Money is tight for a lot of us out here right now, Savages. The world is just in a crazy place, and we're all kind of navigating it together for the first time at the same time. So with that being said, recreational just hit like in the middle of last year. And I don't think anything's been the same since, and I'm not sure if it's ever going to be the same now. Unfortunately, Savages, I hope at least, though, that we don't have to sit here and worry about coming home after already overpaying for the product with dry weed. I mean, because honestly, Savages, I'm not going to lie to you, if they don't clean that problem up soon, quick, and in a hurry, I don't know how much I'm actually going to be continuing to shop at the dispensary. And I hate to say that, but if we're not getting quality stuff, if we're not getting good quality on the product, then why would we still buy it? Why would we still tell these companies, hey, it's okay for you to literally basically take my money, overcharge crazily for what we're paying for, and there's no love put into it at the same time? I feel personally, after a certain amount of time on the shelf, they either need to massively reduce the price of it or straight throw it in the trash, because after a certain point, guys, let's be honest, it is trash. If it's lost all of its integrity, it's lost all of the terpene profile and content, and the stuff itself is so old that it's literally growing like mold on it and spores and things of that nature, not only should it not be sold, it should not be consumed by any medical patients or recreational patients for that matter. But that's enough about that, guys. This big head right now is making me feel like I got a big head. I'm starting to feel pretty relaxed already, literally. It tastes really good too, guys. I don't know. Somebody asked me one time what I like more, the Sherb head or the big head. And my answer is simple. I guess it just depends what mood I'm in, because personally, I feel like the Sherb head is definitely more of a daytime smoking experience. I almost get like a sativa dominant hybrid type of effect and feeling when I smoke the Sherb head. Most of the time, right? I haven't had that one in a while either. Mostly because when Klutch Cannabis first raised their price to $50 a tenth, Savage basically just stopped buying their stuff for a little bit. I mean, I was already covering a lot of Klutch during the course of the summer as it was anyway, so a break from them really wasn't a terrible thing, but they never brought the price down, so for a while I just didn't return to their stuff. They started dropping that cookie stuff, and that's how they got the Savage back. They never really lost me, guys. They're still my favorite company in the program. It's just, listen, I've been smoking weed for a long time. I've been smoking weed for way longer than I've been in the medical program or legal pot program as a whole, and buying marijuana from a shop. At the end of the day, before we had legalized marijuana stores and shops, and we were all going to the plug, right? Hear me out on this, Savages. If you had a dude that consistently gave you bad weed, and especially dry and old weed, how many bags are you buying before you switch suppliers and stop going there? You got to see what I'm saying, guys. And I know a lot of you Savages have been dealing with a lot of the same issues lately, because you guys have been letting me know, and I appreciate that. I love hearing all of you guys' experience as well as a whole, just to see what a lot of you guys are going through, because I know if I'm seeing it every single time I go to the dispensary right now, I know I'm not the only one, and you guys have definitely let me know that I'm for sure not the only one. This right now, I would say on the burn, guys, I'm not going to lie. I think it would be burning a little bit better, but there's almost nothing to complain about. I mean, the ash itself is literally chizzy chalk white. Let me see if I can show you guys a little bit better here. Literally chalk white. There is no pepper to the ash here at all. Oil ring initiated as soon as I lit it up. Oh, guys, you can see right there. Now, where I think that it is suffering a little bit, most likely due to the fact that it's not fresh by any means necessary, guys. But it's still smoking like it is pretty fresh. But I know for a fact that it would taste a lot better if it was fresher, like maybe the last couple of months as opposed to the last 6 months. This stuff was packaged 10/4/2024, and when it comes to the taste, that's where it's showing the most, in my opinion. It still tastes really good. It still tastes like Big Head, but on the inhale, there is a minute harshness that typically you would not get off this strain. I've never had it not fresh. I'm going to say that right now. I could actually probably count on both hands how many times I've had the Big Head from Klutch. And this is probably one of the worst batches. That's not to say that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually still pretty freaking good. I'm not going to lie. I'm still hitting it. You guys can see how clean that ash is burning right there pretty freaking well. That's burning like the blue suede. This is burning like the cheetah pea. Like the cleanest of the clean stuff that they have to offer. And to be real, it's burning like that Mac 1 last night. That stuff was smoking. I'm not going to lie. Had me on my butt. I don't even think that this right now is going to get me as ripped as that did yesterday. And this is an indica. That's actually a hybrid dominant strain. And it put me on my butt, savages. I am going to be real with you guys 100%. The Mac 1 ain't nothing to mess with. And that's just on Savage life, on Savage soul, on Savage's on Savage's life, essentially. Look at my eyes. I'm freaking baked already, and I'm not even done hitting this. So, what are my thoughts overall right now when it comes to the burn and the flavor on the Big Head? I haven't had it in a decent amount of time, Savages. I think the last time I had it, I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than the batch I'm roasting on right now. But as it stands, the fact that this is still smoking as good as it is crazy that it was packaged that long ago. I really can't even believe it because it's still smoking. I mean, guys, look at the shimmer on this paper right now. Hold up. Oof, wait a second. I got my flash equipped right now just so I can show you guys real quick. Yeah, this stuff is burning really, really nice. Really clean looking ash. Super, super white ash. Nice oil ring too. The oil ring literally started forming as soon as I hit it. I mean, I literally kissed it twice. You guys already know, you've seen it in the flesh. My only complaint, to be honest, I would say, to be real, this batch, out of all the batches of Big Head that I've had in my life, this tastes gassier than a lot of the other ones. Whereas the candy on this batch is kind of coming in more on the back end. And I'm just going to assume, and I'm pretty confident just because I've had it, out of all the times I have had it, this one is kind of an outlier, so to speak. And I think I know why. And you already know what I'm going to say, guys. I just think that it lost some of its overall flavor and terp because of how long it's been sitting in that jar. I mean, even though that they had a freshness seal on the inside, and I think that's what really saves their butt in a lot of the cases, because they do incorporate the seal, and I think that in most cases, guys, that really adds, I ain't going to put a number, but probably at least a couple of months to the freshness and the overall quality of the bud, as opposed to the companies that don't put one on the inside of their jar. And I just feel like at this point, in 2025, I mean, it's plant material. And I know that it's technically supposed to be vaporized, especially as a medical patient. So maybe they assume that it just doesn't need to be fresh. It doesn't need to be sticky. but I mean, guys, it's marijuana. I mean, one of the most widely known associated features of the plant is that good weed is very, very sticky. You know what I'm saying? It's just been too much dry bud coming out of the dispensary lately. At least it's not dry. It's still rolled up very nicely. You guys seen it pass the stickiness test on 2 separate and different nuggets. And the Big Head, guys, revisited. Is it as good as I remember? I'm starting to feel absolutely freaking cooked in the best possible way for an indica dominant strain, guys. I'm feeling it behind the eyes and underneath the eyes heavily. I feel it right here. I almost feel airheaded a little bit. And I ain't even ashamed to admit it. In a pleasant way, I just feel like I was honestly kind of stressing out about a couple of different things a little bit ago. I've been really, really busy the last few years of my life, guys. I don't even know. I guess basically I've just started to take my crap together a little bit more seriously, or get my crap together a little bit more and start taking things more seriously. The way I said that the first time was totally discombobulated. Holy crap. I'm starting to get faded, savages. Can you tell? Drop it down in the comments what you guys are roasting on during the course of this video. I literally never get sick of seeing that, guys. Seeing what the Savage Army is smoking on while they're watching me smoke on something. I don't know what to say about it that I haven't already said, but the inner nerd in me goes absolutely insane. Okay, savages? So if you haven't done that yet, please rip that thumbs up button, smash it. It really does wonders for the algorithm here, guys, on YouTube and the channel's growth overall. And drop it down in the comments what you guys are roasting on. What have you guys been smoking on lately out of the dispensary? And what have you guys tried lately that's been good? Anything that's really, really fresh right now in the Canton area, all of my Canton, Ohio savages, please let me know. Please let me know, because my experience at the dispensary lately, it hasn't been all bad. Klutch Cannabis, always grade A customer service. And I would say the botanist, same thing. I never really have any complaints when it comes to the staff or the bud tenders. But the experience has just been weird lately, because I've never had to request for products to be taken back or replaced off my order ever since I've been in the program. Normally, everything's good to go, A-okay, and I can just take my order and walk out the door. But lately, it's like I feel like I'm a freaking food health inspector or something, like checking all these package dates. It's insane, savages. But at least we're able to spread awareness, because honestly, the last thing I would want any of you guys to be going through or dealing with is spending your hard-earned money that you work hard for. And let's be honest, we all work hard for the money we earn, and we don't want to be wasting it on stuff that's not up to code, up to par, or fresh. You guys know what I'm saying. Fresh is really the key word here. I am starting to feel nice off this Big Head. Is this why they call it Big Head? Because it's giving me a big head. I don't know if it's inflating the ego. I don't know about that, but it's making me feel nice in the head. Flavor on this stuff. Did I judge any part of the stuff? This really wasn't even technically a review, because I already have a full-length review on the Big Head. If you guys haven't seen that yet, or you want to double back and watch that video again, I'm going to be leaving the link up at the end of the video, so just wait to the very end of the video if you guys want to see that. It's one of my favorite strains off their menu, guys, so this is no different. Still smoking crazy. I'm feeling really nice right now. Indica dominant effects, really sedative, relaxing type of effects. This is the indica feelings that I actually like to get off my indicas. Not every indica feels the same though, guys. It really all comes down to the terp that's in the flower. But this is the feeling that I like the most when I go indica. This just like weight being lifted off your body almost in a way. But the Big Head right now is really giving me nice cerebral effect too. Right here in the head, I'm starting to feel like stressful thoughts dissipating, like feeling like they're not actually important, which is great. And I didn't feel that way a few minutes ago. So I would say good stress reliever if you guys are going through anything like that. And would I recommend this? Abso-freaking-lutely. I wish that they were still doing that sale that they did yesterday, because I would definitely be going back. It was literally on everything Klutch and or Kaiva, so the edibles were going too, and you could have got live rosin, you guys could have got any of the vapes, you guys could have got, and I think it's stacked with like the sales that they were doing already with like the $25 vape of the day and things like that. But guys, holy crap, we are literally already at over an hour long. This is one of the longest videos that I've recorded in a very long time, but it's for you savages, man. I know I have not been uploading very much recently whatsoever, and I apologize from the bottom of my savage heart. I assure you guys, though, it's been for good reason. I've been getting some really, really exciting and cool stuff done lately, and soon we're going to be in our very new apartment, so which is like this, yeah, the second apartment that I've ever personally owned in my life. So it's very, very exciting, guys, and I cannot wait to start doing the videos with the new backdrops in the new place, showing you guys the new whip. It's going to be a beautiful thing. But until next time, guys, drop it down in the comments what you guys were smoking on and what you want to see me do a review on next. Maybe on something that we haven't done a review on yet, guys. More stuff from Woodward would maybe be exciting. I've been thinking about the wedding cake from them recently, because I don't think I've had any baseline wedding cake from any brand out here in the program ever. I don't think I've ever seen it. They might be the only company that actually offers it. And if you're wondering why I didn't do a video on the Blue Diesel from Buckeye Relief that I picked up the other day, it's because I have covered that stuff on the channel at least once before, but I'm thinking now that I might have done a couple videos on it. That is an Ohio classic, an Ohio staple, but the batch that I got this time, weirdly enough, first batch of it that I've ever got that did not come in a jar, it was actually in a Mylar, and I guess from what they're telling me, that Buckeye Relief is allegedly going to be swapping and moving over to Mylars, which is okay, I guess, if they start fixing this very big and important issue I'm about to address. So when I picked this up, it was only $16. So first time that I've actually purchased anything Buckeye Relief that's been that cheap since way before recreational came into the picture, which was a really long time ago. So for all you new savages and new customers to the Ohio marijuana market, at one point in time, you could get classic Buckeye Relief for like $15 to $16 a tenth, which was at the time just an insane deal, because their stuff really, really consistent, really, really good, like stuff. It just doesn't give like indoor vibes, and I'm not sure if it is indoor grown flower. I think that might be the biggest difference between their stuff and something like Klutch Cannabis, which is also very consistent product in my opinion, while still being really, really quality. And I think Buckeye Relief is more of a mass-produced product. Now, mind you, I assume that Klutch Cannabis is more mass-produced now than it's ever been, but at one point in time, their flower was definitely giving more of that like small batch vibe every single time that I bought it. Super fresh. They're like top of the line and top of their game was when I basically first got my med card and first started buying stuff in the program, and this was around 3 years ago, almost, not quite. But at that point in time, guys, everything that I got from Klutch Cannabis was literally like AAA, top of the line, and for them, they were definitely peak at the top of their game, because I'm not sure if they've been as good ever since then. They're still among the best stuff in the program by far, and they're still my favorite stuff on a consistent basis. But I've tried a lot of these strains multiple times, over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be coming down to personal preference, number one, of course. But more importantly than that, how fresh the stuff is, because the fresher the flower, the better it's going to be representing the strain itself anyway. But I've never had any complaints. If I get some flower from Klutch and it's even remotely packaged fresh, their stuff is usually so good in my opinion that even if it's a strain I don't prefer, it's still something that I'm going to enjoy, because the quality is just on a certain level, a certain caliber, so to speak. If you guys understand what the Savage is trying to say. And by the way, the Savage is totally freaking cheesed out right now. My eye nuggets are almost totally closed shut. Totally red. I can even see on camera right now. And I basically just made a little movie for you savages, okay? I hope you enjoyed this longer type of sesh video. I hope you guys enjoyed in general. If you did, hit it with a big fat savage thumbs up. I ain't gonna lie, it felt great just to kind of sit back, chill for a little bit, and have a nice little session with you guys and just chop it up with my savages, man. And do not worry, Savage is going to be getting right back on my regular schedule programming, so to speak. Essentially, we're going to be getting right back into routine as soon as I get done with this move, which is going to be in the next few days. I actually am assuming it's going to be at the end of the week. We're kind of waiting for a couple of key things to happen. I'm not going to speak too much on those, but all you guys need to know is the Savage is moving very, very soon, and I'm about to be driving some new wheels. So, it's very exciting stuff. It should be an exciting week, and as far as stuff to cover, I've got 2 other things to try out from Klutch for you guys. We might as well make some type of content out of it, even though I've done reviews on both the Mac 1 and the Jealousy. There's some of my favorite strains of their menu. I should have got the lemon cherry gelato. Like I said, I really wanted to go back and pick up another 3 strains because 3 jars from Klutch at this point in the game for $100 and once upon a time, that doesn't sound too crazy. I think it was even cheaper than that, to be honest with you, because they used to be $36 plus tax for the tents. I don't know if they're actually ever going to come down from this $50 price point. The only thing that might be better in the future is we start getting full 3.5 gram eighths. That would be just revolutionary. It might even change the game. The only thing that I don't want to see happen, since a lot of these companies and brands lately seem to be moving to Mylar bags. Klutch Cannabis, do not move to a Mylar bag. Please do not move to a Mylar bag. And I'm nervous because the cookie stuff comes in Mylars and Klutch grows it. So I don't know. I don't think that they will, because they've been doing jars for so long, and cookies usually comes in Mylars and stuff like that anyway, even in other states. But I'm just saying, guys, Buckeye Relief's doing it, and I've noticed other companies doing it too. Farkas Farms, Standard Wellness, yeah. So that's 3 right there. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, savages. I'm just saying, but what are you going to do at the end of the day? No need to stress about things that you have no control over, and that's one of them. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. I hope you guys are feeling as baked right now as I am. I will see you guys in the next one for maybe the Mac 1 and the Jealousy. We might just smoke both of them. I don't know, but we'll find out together. I'm freaking ripped, and I am rambling on way too long. I will catch you savages in the next one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for staying patient, and I hope you have an absolutely freaking baked, blessed, beautiful, absolutely savage, sexy, absolutely insane rest of your night, guys. Peace.